conversation that we are talking about is about the 60 years of Kenya and Australia's relations that spans 60 years. And there are celebrations that are going to be marked. It will be a week-long celebration, and the Australian High Commission has even gone to the extent of bringing a world-acclaimed chef, that is Tony Carroll, who is an executive Australian chef. So this conversation is going to be interesting because I can see there are several things that are lined up on the table. But first things first, Her Excellency Jenny Doreen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, and I'm really enjoying seeing the produce that Tony has brought with him. I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yeah, Tony, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You know, before we even get into that, let me start with Your Excellency. Just, you know, what have been the milestones for the past 60 years? Because it's not one day, 60 years is a lot. What has the journey, or how has the journey been?
Well, after Kenya became independent in 1963, which also happens to be my birthday, so Kenya and I turned 60 on the same day. Yeah. We were born on the same day.
Interesting.
It was fantastic, actually, because President Ruto wished me happy birthday in 2023, and that's quite an extraordinary thing to have happen to you as at a personal level. Yeah. So after Kenya's independence in 1963, Australia recognised its independence, and in congratulating Kenya, foresaw that the relationship between our two countries would grow. And I think that was an important indicator of ambition, what we wanted to try and achieve together. Mm-hmm. In 1965, we opened our first High Commission here in Kenya and appointed our first High Commissioner, Walter Croker. And we've been here ever since. Yeah. Our chancellery has changed. We're in a new chancellery now in Limuru Road, but we've moved into different buildings, but our presence has always been here. In 1984, Kenya opened a High Commission in Canberra in Australia, and it has also had a continuous presence. So that has enabled our countries to collaborate in a range of areas. In 2017, the first Kenyan Australian became a member of our parliament, actually our Senate. And we have had Kenyan Australians represent us in politics, in sport, in the arts, in business, in industry. Yeah. There are over 20,000 Kenyans in Australia now. There are almost 10,000 Kenyan students studying in Australia through all spheres of study and all different professions. And we've just ticked over $1 billion in two-way trade. So there's a lot going on and a lot to celebrate, and we can look forward to a very bright future.
Yes. Chef Tony, you know, I cannot help but taking the aroma of whatever that is there. But you have been invited to be part of these celebrations. Mm-hmm. So what excites you about bringing in now your culinary expertise into these celebrations? It's
always exciting to travel as a chef. It's great to see different cultures, different styles of food. So I was very excited when I was invited to come to Kenya. Mm-hmm. I'm a first-time visitor to Kenya, so very excited. But more excited when I was asked to introduce some indigenous produce to the menu. Mm-hmm. These things are truly unique to Australia. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to share these products with a greater audience. Mm-hmm. The best way to support our indigenous people is support their business. Mm-hmm. It's a young business. They've been foraging this food for thousands of years, but only just now are we getting to understand how it works, what they're good with from a Western perspective. Mm-hmm. So for thousands of years, they would use food as medicine. Medicine was their food. And some of these foods are absolute superfoods, packed with antioxidants, vitamins, minerals. So yeah, it's the way forward for Australian cuisine. Mm-hmm.
And Your Excellency, what necessitated the idea of including a world-acclaimed chef to be included in these celebrations?
Well, we're just so grateful to Tony for coming to Kenya, and also to William Barton, who is also here as an acclaimed Australian musician and didgeridoo player. And so grateful to our partners, Qatar Airways, the Wine Box and Hesketh Wines, who together have helped us put together a program to celebrate Australian food, Australian wine, Australian music and Australian culture, and bring some of that flavour here. We're a long way away. You know, there's a big Indian Ocean between us, but we have a lot in common. And I think through the efforts of people like Tony, we can build a better sense of understanding of what Australia is doing that's really innovative, that's exciting, and that we think will really appeal to a Kenyan audience. So that's really what we're doing this week, and it's the centrepiece of our 60th anniversary celebrations. Like all good celebrations, it has to be about food,
Food has
to be about great music, it has to be a party, and that's what we're having.
That's interesting. You know, Chef Tony, you have worked with the best of the best, if I could put it like that, the best of the best, especially in the hotel industry. How has that shaped your journey and how you approach cooking in general?
Yeah, no matter where you work, you take a little bit of the local knowledge, a bit of little local technique,
Yes.
a little bit of the culture, and it just builds a nice base for your next move forward. It's all good experience. We all do very similar things in different ways. There's a lot of flavors, a lot of flavor profiles, a lot of techniques that span through all the continents. But the devil is in the detail, how you treat them slightly differently.
Yeah.
So it's just good education. It's really good to travel. I think as a chef, traveling is the most important part of your education. There's always a better way of doing things. And a different philosophy behind food also, depending on which country that you're in. So yeah, it's a good all-round experience.
Yes. From all this, you can tell that there will be a blend of culture between the two countries, especially when it comes to food and music, besides the fact that we have diplomatic relations. Your Excellency, so how does this cultural exchange now enhance approach to diplomacy?
Look, diplomacy always starts with people-to-people connections. It's the bedrock of these relationships. Those people-to-people connections sustain us over the decades and also point to where we can do more in the future. And we're really proud of the things that individuals have done to bring our different cultures to each other and also to fuse them together. So people like Elsie Wameo, a fantastic young performing artist, born in Kenya, grown up in Australia, who's making amazing music that's connecting our people. Things like what Tony's doing to come to Kenya and share our local produce with and fuse it with the local product from Kenya and showcase that. You know, that inspires people, it excites people. And I think the other thing that is important in terms of culture is not just what we do, but the leadership that people show. So the fact that they're prepared to get out there and have a go and do amazing things and show others what can be achieved. So whether it's in sport or whether it's in music that we were just talking about, or whether it's people like Rebecca Miano, who is a cabinet secretary but studied in Australia. As she brings that experience back to Kenya with her. And that always creates opportunities for us to do more together. So for me, it always starts with people and the wonderful stories we hear about what people are doing.
Yeah. I have a world-acclaimed chef here, and he has brought goodies, for lack of a better word. So Chef Tony, if you would let us know what all this is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So this is a small selection of the Australian indigenous produce that we've brought over for the next series of events happening this week. As I said, they're truly unique to Australia. So this is my all-time favorite. This is a finger lime. So it looks like a finger. And on the inside, there's this beautiful, fresh lime pearls. So when you squeeze the lime, these beautiful, colourful bursts of citrus explode on your mouth. Obviously great with things like raw seafood, oysters, but equally amazing in a gin and tonic or in a cocktail.
Okay.
So a really good, versatile little fruit. And I think that's why Australians like it so much.
Can it be eaten alone? Can it be eaten
Yes.
alone?
Please try.
Wow, okay.
Have some.
Oh, I will. Oh, okay.
I think you might like that one. So it's a beautiful burst of fresh citrus. We also call this finger lime caviar, and then we charge some extra money for that because we changed the word.
Wow.
So it comes in a different array of colours: green, white, orange, but the red is the most beautiful, I think.
Okay.
Okay, this is a Kwangdong. So this is also known as a desert peach, grows in the desert. It's a very small peach, has a very big stone. As you can see, it's been emptied out.
Yes.
So a very large stone, but full of antioxidants, very, very sweet, grows in a really arid land. And things like game, duck, venison, them big, bold flavours. This is a great combination. On the left, we have some sunrise limes. The beauty of these limes is you can eat the rind, eat the pips, eat the skin. You just got to chop them up, throw it into your favourite salad, throw it on top of your fish or into your marinade. Beautiful little lime, full of vitamin C.
Yes.
Next one is a desert lime. Obviously, devil's in the wording. These grow in the desert. And again, same thing, full of vitamin C. As I said before, our indigenous culture used food as medicine. So these are used for sore tummies and arthritic problems, but tastes great as well. Make a little puree, and again, adds a burst of citrus to any flavour profile. Okay. And this one here is a lemon myrtle leaf. So we put this in things like curries and soups or even custard, and it gives it a beautiful flavour of lemon, but not as citrusy as these ones. Yes. So again, great for having in the fridge, throw it in your curries, throw it in your soups, gives it a nice acidic flavour.
Yes. So all this is going to be featured in within the celebrations?
Yes, we have a series of events coming up,
yes.
Ranging from a gala black tie dinner for 500 people, and then a more intimate wine dinner for 40 people, and then a good fun, good old-fashioned barbecue.
Have you come any interesting Kenyan ingredients that you would want to infuse in your culinary efforts?
Definitely will do. I only arrived on Sunday. We're collaborating with some great young Kenyan chefs who are very keen to show me around, take me to the market, take me to their favourite restaurants. So once these series of events are finished, we'll immerse ourselves in all things Kenyan.
Yes. What can Kenyans look forward to in these celebrations?
Well, as Tony said, we're going to see a taste of Australia and Australian cuisine, which really comes from decades, hundreds of years now, of different cultures melding together. And it's what makes Australian cuisine now so unique and so exciting. We have William Barton here, as I said earlier, an acclaimed Australian musician and didgeridoo player. Don't know if you know what a didgeridoo is. No. It's a uniquely Australian instrument. It's a very long instrument, a bit like a pipe, but it's made out of wood and elaborately decorated often. And you blow into one end of it and it makes this very earthy sound. He's classically trained and he uses the didgeridoo in his music to bring out that sort of Indigenous authenticity. Yeah. So he'll be playing with Ghetto Classics and the Nairobi Orchestra and our own opera singer Brianna Stillman and showcasing his music, but also this marvellous instrument, the didgeridoo. And then we have a selection of Australian wines that we're showcasing through these culinary events and through the gala celebration that we have on at the end of the week. So there's a lot going on.
Yes.
We're very excited about it.
Yes. Chef Tony, do you think there's a need to enhance food tourism, besides the fact that we are celebrating 60 years, the aspect of enhancing food tourism between countries?
I think food tourism is a really big thing now. I think people, when they do travel, it's all about the food. It's about the different cultures, different drinks they're going to experience. Obviously, the big ticket items, the sightseeing is really important, but the interest in food has boomed over the years. With the internet, with other people traveling, word gets around. And food is, you know, a real interest in everyone's life.
Yeah.
It's the one thing we all have in common.
Yes.
We all must eat.
Yes.
So
Because I've had people say, I travel for food.
Yeah, it's a real thing now. It's a tourism boom.
Yes. So as we come to a close, this is for you. What do you personally enjoy about living in Kenya?
Oh, there's so much to enjoy about Kenya. It's such an exciting, vibrant country. For me, Nairobi is just the most amazing city to live in. You only have to leave your home and you're surrounded by the buzz of the city, the artwork on the matatus, the city centres.
Yes.
And I really love that. But as an Australian, it's the wide open spaces that capture my heart the most, because they remind me of home. Our geology is very similar, and the way our landscapes look, even though the trees might be different with the acacia and we have eucalypts. But when I look out into those wide open spaces and I go and visit those places, I feel this real sense of connection between our lands and also our ancient cultures. Kenya's the cradle of civilization, but we've had a continuous culture for 65,000 years, and there is a lot that we can see that's in common between the two. And I think that commonality is what I find really inspiring, but also exciting and optimistic for our future together.
Yes. Chef Tony, what's next after this this tour?
I'd like to do some more touring of Africa. I've only been here 2 or 3 days, but it's an amazing place. It's got an amazing vibe to it.
Yes.
As Jenny said, the open spaces, the food looks amazing. So this has sparked a real interest for me to do some more travel in this part of the world.
This is your first time in Kenya?
It is.
Karibu
Yeah.
sana.
So it's all exciting.
Yes.
Once I get over the jet lag, I'll enjoy it a lot more.
There's a lot to enjoy. Your Excellency, what is your message to Kenyans as we mark these 60 years of diplomatic friendship, cooperation between Kenya and Australia?
Well, my message is really one of thanks. Firstly, for being so welcoming of us in this country, and also for the contribution that they make to the relationship. These people who are going about their daily work are doing amazing things, and I hear their stories every day, and I'm inspired by their stories. So really, I want to pay tribute to them, and I want to thank them all for the work that they do, for the contribution that they make, and I encourage them to continue that effort.
Yes. Chef Tony, what's your message to people watching you right now?
Embrace native Australian food. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's full of all the good things that we want to eat.
Yes.
And just try something different. Give it a go.
And these celebrations, can Kenyans participate in them, and how?
Well, I think they should. I think they should take advantage of what Tony's talking about and try some of our Australian food and wine. This is what I would really encourage them to do.
Yeah.
And listen to William Barton's music. Listen to Elsie's music. You know, appreciate what these amazing people are doing together.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for making time to come here on Good Morning Kenya and even talk about the food and also the cooperation between the two countries. Asante sana. That is Her Excellency Jenny Doreen, who is the Australian High Commissioner to Kenya, and also Tony Carroll, who is an executive Australian chef, talking to us about the 60 years celebrations of cooperation between Kenya and Australia. This is where we end this conversation.